So a couple of days ago I had shown you my Blue Coco beans, which are they make a purple pod. It's a pretty tasty bean, very tasty and very prolific. I have a lot of seeds and I've been accumulating seeds for a few years, and I said I need to just cook these. So anyway, so I soaked the beans. I soaked about maybe half a cup worth of beans in some water overnight, and then I put them to cook in the pressure cooker for about 20 minutes or so, more or less. That was about 20 minutes. So anyway, now they're nice and tender. They're like very plump and they look so nice. So anyway, I've been inspired to make some Spanish beans, which is actually called habichuelas guisadas in the Spanish world in Latin America. So anyway, I have some ingredients that I put together. I chopped up some onions, and this is about the equivalent of about half a stick of celery. I have like a, the end of the celery. I'm just gonna use it a little bit. I don't want it too celery-like. This is about four cloves of garlic, and I'm gonna throw in some oregano, some thyme. This is all gonna happen pretty fast. So over here I have some preserved cilantro and vinegar, and achiote paste, which I got from the supermarket a few months ago. Anyway, I'm gonna get started now. So I'm gonna take some olive oil and toss in the vegetables. I'm just going to throw it on at the same time. I'm not going to worry about too much. Okay, so it's almost where I want it. I just wanted to show you, I took a minute to chop up a tomato. I took one of these store-bought tomatoes. I mean, I guess if you must, get like these Italian plum tomatoes. They're pretty tasty. The other round ones are not really very good, in my opinion. I don't know, sometimes those Israeli grown ones are good, the ones on the stem. This is about maybe a third of one of these green peppers. Usually my husband is the one who does most of the food shopping. If I'm doing the food shopping, I will almost never buy a green pepper, not unless it's got some blushing on it, which tells me that it's about to get ripe. But this almost has no indication of ripening. So anyway, I like to use this kind of green pepper for Mexican type dishes and stuff like that. Chili, that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is about a third of a sweet pepper. I'll toss that in. Whatever it takes, right? Alright, so... Whoa, it's getting me. I'm starting to burn. So anyway, I think it's time to throw in the beans. I don't think I'm going to use all of it. Or might. Alright, let's see what happens. That cooking water, I totally use that. I don't pour that out. Whenever I make anything that requires beans and I don't have time to cook them myself and use a can, I never drain the liquid because there's a lot of vitamins in that liquid, and you know, it's not to mention the flavor. So anyway, I'm gonna pour a little bit more of that juice, and the rest of this I'm gonna stick in the freezer for like chili or something like that. So anyway, now I'm gonna let this simmer a little bit, but not until I throw in some. There we go now. So I got my oregano. Stupid shaker top. Alright. That's maybe about a teaspoon and a half. I like a lot of oregano, it seems. And this is gonna be thyme. Maybe not quite as much of the thyme. And cilantro. Like I said, this is just some cilantro that I chopped up. You know, I usually get like a nice fat bunch from the store. This year I haven't been able to grow cilantro. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I think my seed is just not viable. So anyway, so basically I take a bunch of cilantro, stuff it into a jar, chopped, and then I pour in enough vinegar to cover. And then you just put it in the refrigerator, and then whenever you need it, you use it. And this hasn't been salted yet, so I might wait until it's about halfway done before I salt it. I don't know, let me salt it now. I'm going to use some of this Himalayan salt. You don't really need a lot, because this stuff is actually very salty as compared to sea salt. Sea salt tends to have it has a lot of minerals because it's in the sea, so it's not just NaCl, it's not just sodium chloride, it's calcium chloride and potassium chloride and all kinds of different salts, but it's not actually sodium chloride. So in any case, so sea salt is not as salty, whereas this Himalayan salt, I believe this is very high in just salt, just sodium chloride. So anyway, don't get confused like I did a couple times ago and just, you know, get too liberal with the Himalayan salts, because then your food is going to be too salty. Alright, so I'm going to see how... Oh shoot, I'm forgetting the achiote. I'm just going to scoop in about maybe a teaspoon and a half. Maybe a little more. I don't know, that's about a teaspoon and a half, I think. Okay, so I don't want it to cook that quickly, so I'm going to lower the heat and let it simmer gently. That way all the vegetables can soften. The beans are pretty soft, and this is actually going to render them very saucy, as opposed to just a bunch of firm beans. And you're going to find it's going to become just a nice sauce, which is what you want. That's what habichuelas guisadas is. It's really more like a sauce that you put on, that you serve with rice. I haven't been cooking with beans for a while because of my kidney disease. My kidney disease, you know, the dietitians would say, well, beans have a lot of phosphorus, and phosphorus is bad for you when you have kidney disease, so I wasn't eating beans for a long time. But you know, my diet changed because I started doing some different things, and so now beans are back on my diet. Back on the menu they are, and so anyway, I find that this is one of these things, one of these recipes that I'm enjoying a lot. I like eating this often because it's just a really tasty meal. Anyway, so I'm going to let this simmer for about half an hour. There's a little white rice to go with the beans. So this is it. I'm going to taste it plain, and then I'm going to put a little hot sauce. I kind of tasted it before, and I didn't taste the finished product, so. I don't think it needs any hot sauce. That's good. That's really tasty. I actually stirred in a little bit of that hot pepper sauce that I made back at Christmas time. About 5 minutes before I finished cooking it. And so it's got a little bit of a kick. Yeah, I think that was just the right thing to balance the flavors. I'm pleased. Thanks for watching.